Hello, welcome back. So, today's topic I want to cover is how kindness is actually a strength and not a weakness. Like, why is that? Because I don't know, like maybe it's just, cynical old me, but it feels like there's less and less just genuinely kind people for some reason. It's like from my experience, I've met a lot of people who they view kindness as being naive, being immature, maybe being weak. um you know they say like, oh, like you're gonna get taken advantage of, you have to be careful, you can't just be kind all the time, you have to be careful with your kindness. um, I mean, they're half right. You do need to protect yourself from, any negative energy, any unnecessary stress. If there's any ill intention, obviously, from people, then, yeah, like you need to distance yourself from that and take good care of yourself. But like, why, is kindness like, viewed like this lately? Again, I don't know if it's just me, but that's like my experience. People equate kindness to naivety. That's not the case. You know, it's the opposite. Because, like, why? Because, let's say, like, think of, like, I'm sure, like, everybody knows at least one person in their lifetime that's just bitter all the time. Maybe they're a narcissist, maybe they're just angry at everything, maybe they're just bitter against the world, maybe they're very, very pessimistic, just having a negative kind of standoffish attitude. And then think about what do you know about that person, right? Chances are they weren't born like that. I mean, maybe some people are, who knows, but usually it's they became that way because of their own personal negative experiences. Like, the narcissists in my life, for example, they were raised, by similar like type households where the parent did not treat them very well, and then they just, became who they are, because that's all they know. And then they raise the kids they raise as like, chances are they're gonna grow up not that much better. Be- and it just perpetuates this cycle. But if you think of it like that, that's actually like being you're because they're being molded by their life and their experiences and the people in their lives. Isn't that kind of what weakness is? Kindness is the opposite. Kindness is strength. Because look, what, right? You go through life, most people, like most kids, unless they're like ridiculously spoiled or raised in like a toxic environment, but like kids are pure, right? They're not as they haven't lived enough to be as molded or as influenced by society yet. And most kids are actually nice. They're actually happy to help. They're happy to show compassion to an animal, right? So it's kind of like, not again, not everybody. There are exceptions always, but you know, at least from my experience, they're more optimistic, they're more hopeful, right? And then as you grow and you go through crap in your life, and then you kind of tend to become a little more cynical. But like, what about, like, why are they like that? Right? It's not because children are weak, it's because they haven't been influenced. So imagine this now. You you go through life, right? But you retain that purity, or at least some, like, obviously, we all, our experience shapes us, but and we grow from our experiences. But imagine retain like going through all of that and still retaining that compassion and that kindness, and not letting like not letting yourself be so negatively affected that you just become part of the mess, part of the problem. Isn't that what true strength is about? Being molded and easily, not maybe not easily, but being molded and influenced by, I don't know, peer pressure or your life experiences, and then just becoming just the same and adding to the problem. Isn't that what weakness is? Like that's a weak will, right? You don't have enough strength, enough power, enough will to like stand up and keep going against the current, regardless of what's being thrown at you, and overcoming it. You give up and you succumb. And it's understandable, right? Like I'm not judging anyone. Like I've been there myself. I've had moments of weakness, where I gave up, and like this is me. And I feel like it takes a lot of courage, a lot of guts to just say, you know what? I'm not going to be like this. This doesn't feel right. This isn't who I truly am at my core. And I've covered a video connecting with your true self and what that really means. But it's like that it doesn't feel good. I mean, you go against that. Why is that? Because deep down, you're kind and compassionate, and being true to yourself is what makes you feel happy and fulfilled. Ultimately, it's just figuring out, right, having that balance, like of protecting yourself and learning your lesson, versus just becoming part of the issue. Because like imagine, right, like a metal, like a really weak malleable like metal, or a mountain, right, or a cliff, right? And then imagine it like a rock. You know what? Yeah, like imagine a rock, right? It starts maybe kind of like, rough and jagged, and it has oomph. It's strong. And then like imagine like it keeps getting washed away, like, by wind or by the ocean, and all these external elements, external influences, and eventually it becomes a smooth pebble that get lost in the sea of pebbles. That's like, it's a weak, that's like a malleable material. But imagine like something else, another substance that could withstand the elements, no matter what you throw at it, water, wind, whatever, like, sand, and it just retains its shape. Staying true to your, like retaining that true form, that's strength. Not being influenced, by negativity, that's strength. The people who will tell you, oh, like quit being so naive, or like, oh my god, you're so weak, or you keep making the same mistakes again, god, like, you're not. So giving people a chance and then reacting accordingly, that's not weakness at all. It's another person. You're not letting your past scar who you are. You keep an optimistic mind, and that kindness, that compassion, and you keep going regardless. So don't let people tell you otherwise, because those people are lost. They don't see things from a higher perspective. It's not true. Like it's admirable, it's brave, it's amazing. Like some people I know personally who have been through way worse hell than me, like way worse, like it's unimaginable turmoil, and yet they're still kind, empathic, compassionate people who just, they want to help, they want to do good, right? They don't let that's beauty, and that's strength, and that's something to be admired and be inspired by, not the other way around. And then all these like cynics, all these bitter people, they're just angry at society all the time. That's low vibration. That's not what, what our purpose as a whole is. It's not what we were put here to do. And maybe, maybe those people are going through a period where they're just lost, and that's where they are in their journey, and that's fine. But don't let that affect you and your journey. Remember, always retain that, like, a little bit of kindness can go such a long way. Think of, I don't know, having the worst day of your life, and then either you were fortunate enough where someone just showed you, like, was just kind to you for one day. Maybe they gave you a nice, like, a sincere compliment, or maybe they just did a tiny act of service for you. How much did that restore that tiny, as tiny as it was, but it still restored that spark of light, that spark of hope, that faith in humanity, even a little bit, right? That's strength, that's beauty. And then or like, for those of us who didn't have that, how much did we wish that somebody would just reach out a hand, like, just for 1 minute, or just heard us out. See, and it's hard. That's why it's strength and bravery, because staying kind and, like, not having a clouded, like, negative view on the world and on others, it's hard. It's so difficult to do. That's why, choosing the opposite is weakness. Choosing to conform and just becoming, contributing to the darkness, to the like that phrase, like, two wrongs don't make a right. They honestly don't, not in this case. So if you're one of those people who is maybe alone, but who is very empathic, who feels very deeply, who cares very deeply, who's been hurt before, who's been taken advantage of, I really hope you can take something away from this video, from my message, and I really hope that you can still retain that spark of light, that spark of purity, because it's a beautiful thing. And just believing in it, and believing in yourself, and carrying on, retaining this light, it's sooner or later, just as long as you keep learning your lessons, keep growing, keep experiencing, you'll realize that, you're glad that you're like this. Like, a lot of people, maybe and maybe, like, if, as long as it's safe to do, obviously, please be safe at all times. But if you see someone maybe who is, like, having a bad day, I don't know, maybe you're on the, on a bus, or outside, or a coworker, or someone you don't know, maybe you do know someone, and maybe you're hesitating, just say something nice to them, but be sincere, right? That's some honesty, and sincerity is very important. But, you know or whenever someone's treating you poorly, obviously don't let them do that. That's not okay, and it's not, no matter what they've been through, is never an excuse to just become what was done to you now doing onto others. It's just, that's never okay. But, we can't make things better without kindness and compassion, and without understanding each other first. So whenever someone is being unkind, kind of try to see it from their perspective. Maybe ask them, hey, what's going on? Why are you so angry? And yeah, I know it's, like, a little bit of a weird thing to do, especially to someone you don't know very well, but, the answer might surprise you. Maybe they feel like they were wrong. Maybe they feel like life is unfair. Maybe they've been trying so hard and it's just not lining up to them. Well, here's your chance to be a reminder, right? Just ask them, like, what's going on, right? And if, they'll tell you a problem and you're like, well, being angry about it is just making it worse, isn't it? Like, just basically like distancing yourself from the negativity is important. So distance yourself, but never wish poorly on anyone, because that karma will just come back around and come at you, and it won't be fun. It won't be a fun ride. And again, it's difficult. It takes a lot of strength and courage to just look your oppressor in the eye and just be like, you know what? I'm not going to be around you. I don't need your energy. It's not good. But I wish you no harm. I wish you no ill will. Because those people, they've had so few nice moments, like so much darkness, so much negativity in their life. Those people need love and light the most. And even though they might deserve it, but remember, the universe and karma will take care of them. You don't need to tack on their karma and their BS onto you. You can do better. You can attract positive karma by being strong and saying, you know what, it's not right what you're doing, but I'm not gonna stoop to your level. I wish you so much love and so much light. I really hope you'll reconnect with that inner spark. You'll find that spark again and carry on your way. You might be surprised when someone's coming at you very angry out of nowhere, and you're just staying strong and just kill them with kindness. You might be surprised how quickly their bad attitude might turn around, because all they ever needed was just one kind person doing something nice for them. Just stuff to think about. So the card of the day is, as you may have guessed, it's strength. And this comes from the manga tarot deck again. And this is such a, like, there's a lot. It may look simple, it may seem like a simple message, but there is so much in it. So all of these flags here, each one of these is a win, is a victory of every time that you stayed strong, you learned your lesson, you stood above the darkness, above the negativity, you didn't stoop down to someone's level. It's a reminder, and having each one makes you stronger and stronger and stronger, and it builds your armor, and it unleashes that inner lion, that roar. And I promise you, having that approach to negativity and to light, like just fighting it with the light, with positivity, it will make you feel so much more at peace, because again, you're attracting positive karma, rather than if even if it's justified, and you feel angry and bitter, and it's important, again, don't repress your feelings. It's important to process your feelings and understand them, but what's more important is to also rise above that, and you'll be much much more at peace than. And it's exhausting just being angry at the world all the time and just bitter, and it's not a fun life. Life is short. It may not seem that way for some of us, but life is very, very short, and it's just not worth it being so angry. And again, never excuse someone's bad behavior. No matter what they went through, it's their choice to either treat you poorly or stay strong and be kind. So it's never an excuse. It's always a choice. However, wishing them ill will it's not going to put you at peace. But yeah, as always, thank you so much for watching my If you want to book a personal reading with me, my Calendly link is in the description of the video. So is my Etsy store if you want to check that out. And thank you so much for watching, and love, peace, and light to each and every one of you. And remember, stay strong and be kind.